Hey y'all, Brent Rusinow here. Thanks for checking out my YouTube channel. Please subscribe if you haven't. There's a lot more great stuff coming up, one of which being this new series that I'm doing called Motivational Mondays. I'm going to be putting out these videos every Monday, and hopefully it'll, each week it'll help inspire and keep you focused for the rest of the week, and you'll get more done. So. With that said, let's address a common affliction among musicians, bass players included, called practice blur. So practice blur refers to when you, let's say you put in 3 hours of practice and someone like a teacher or a friend or another musician asks you, oh, hey, what did you practice today? And you genuinely can't tell them what you did. You remember playing, you remember having the instrument in your hands, but you don't remember what you practiced. And what I would say to that is, you probably didn't practice as much as you thought you did. It's often a very gray line between practice and noodling. So one thing I want to suggest to try to help reduce that is just getting yourself in the habit of putting the instrument down when you're not practicing, when you're not working on something that's either for your own private study, like if you're working with a teacher and they're prescribing things for you to do, or if it's songs you need to learn for a gig. Things like that are great. You got to do them. That's perfect. That's what practice is. But it's noodling through the stuff that you already know, that you just do subconsciously when you have the instrument in your hand. It's not necessarily making you a better player, and it's at the same time also making you subconsciously feel like you're doing more when you actually aren't. So I would encourage you to just get in the habit of differentiating between the two, practicing and noodling, and that you're going to actually see more results with less time holding the instrument and playing on the instrument. So that's what I would say is the first thing to help with this practice blur problem. Second, I would really recommend using an egg timer, using a timer for your practice sessions. This is one of the most proven ways I've seen and used for just trying to make your practice more productive and more focused and more pointed. Because it's literally that simple of once you hit start, you are practicing until you hear that bell, until you hear that ding. It takes the thinking out of it, and it really just makes it, you feel more accomplished when you finish too. So that when you hear that ding, it's a feeling of, okay, I finished this block, I finished this little amount of time, and you're more inclined to want to do another one. So using a timer is great. All iPhones have them. I believe every smartphone has some kind of a timer built in. Or you can use just a standard kitchen egg timer. They're no more than $5 at a grocery store. So with that said, with the timer thing, it's kind of contradictory to how we work as humans, but I would recommend using a smaller amount of time as your practice block time. Like, we all want to be like, oh yeah, I can do a timer session for an hour. And from experience, it's really difficult to do that, and it often doesn't result in the best, most focused practice time. So even something like 15 minutes or 20 minutes can be really effective, partly because it's enough time that you can start feeling like you're making progress, but it's not necessarily enough that you feel satisfied, like you really, ate off all the meat off the bone on it. So you're more inclined to want to start a new session once that first one ends. So what started as saying, oh yeah, I'm going to get 15 minutes in, can turn into an hour very quickly if you're feeling, if you're seeing that progress from just being very focused and pointed. It's basically making it a very attainable goal that you can easily add on to. And if you start, even just starting at 15, starting around 15-minute blocks, if that's working well and you feel like you can do more, then by all means increase it. Although I would cap it around 30 minutes. I think from experience that's kind of the top threshold that I've really seen productive practice happen at. So let's recap on these 3 points. First one being, try to differentiate between your noodling and your practicing by putting your instrument down when you're not actually working on something you need to be working on. It'll make you feel a lot more accomplished, like you're getting a lot more done when you are practicing. Use an egg timer. Again, you can just use the one on your phone if you want, but you can also have a dedicated one if you really want to unplug from all of your electronic devices. And last point, just keep your blocks to a reasonable length. 15, 20 minutes, something like that. 30 minutes also works, but don't try to bite off too much. You're gonna get much better results and be much happier with the output. So, thanks a lot, and have a great day.